How you been?
I'm chilling, right? You know, I ready to go. You gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling, you know?
Don't do that face ever again. So you already know who it is. It's
Wow.
Juwan
I
145.
need a minute.
Damn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, you already know who it is. It's Juwan 145, the Nigerian prince slash king. And to the left of me, I have Alleged Uzair.
Allegedly, yeah. Make sure you add that before my name because we don't know if it's my name or if it is my name. We're gonna find out one day. Or
Okay.
we won't because it's alleged. You know what I'm saying?
The world may never know.
But yeah, you already know what it is. I'm here, bro. Let's run this. Let's
That's
run
on
the show. You know what I'm saying?
period. And then we have underneath us Miss Imani. This is our special guest. She just stepped out for a few, but that's okay because this first topic she doesn't really know about too much. And it's just gonna be a little casual conversation. I don't know if you know somebody named Sukiana Ozzy.
I don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to tell the story as best as I can. I was hoping for Tom to
Yeah.
be here so she could tell it, but so this lady, her name is Sukiana. She's a rapper, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And she was caught. Well, she wasn't caught, but she was trying to make an OnlyFans video with her man,
Okay.
and she ended up like gagging, and she threw up on
Uh
the. So I was just, Lita is giving her, her input. So we're gonna hear Lita's input. This is gonna be really, really short, but stay here.
Okay, so as far as Miss Sukihana, we're going to keep it brief because Jawan said we're going to keep it brief. Miss Sukihana, I am highly, highly disappointed in you. Not because you have an OnlyFans, not because you having sex on camera, neither. That's not why I'm disappointed in you, because I watch porn. I don't give a fuck if you have sex on camera. If anything, I like that type of shit. Sis, just a year ago, you yourself, man, came out and you cried to the public to let us know that you had signed a contract with some demonic individuals in the industry, and you didn't know if you was going to be able to get yourself out of it. And you were afraid, and you were praying that the highest powers was going to be able to help you get out of this situation. You proceeded to say that you want other dark-skinned young women to look at you and say, this is another dark-skinned woman who doesn't have to demean herself and doesn't have to sell her soul in order to be famous or in order to be successful. You yourself said that, Suki. So I'm just really disappointed in you that you would sit here and get defensive and try to bash other hardworking women who don't engage in sex work because you want to defend your actions of being on camera, vomiting and crying on your fiance's pee in order to get money and claim that, oh, I'm going to have my own restaurant. I'm going to have my own store now. Oh, I'm not a broke bitch. I'm just doing what y'all are doing to get bread.
I mean, she's not lying though, high key. Okay, so then to think about it, do y'all think that people out here do be selling their souls, like just trying to make it anywhere, 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 anywhere? We're gonna start with Mr. Well, Miss Imani, first introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Imani. I am a YouTuber and I'm a
Mm.
host, and I am more than grateful to be joining Japan's The Mesh today. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's no problem. And I will definitely be putting the YouTube channel that she has. It's really fun. She does a lot of reviews. It's
Yes,
definitely gonna be epic.
yes.
Um,
Next month I have interviews coming out back to back to back, honey. So
I hear that.
Uh,
Um, what are your thoughts about this Sukiana situation and just what you heard?
well, in regards to selling your soul, I feel like people do that in any career choice or leisure choice that they have. It's not more so to get their fame. It can be to get power. It could be to get more money. It could be to have a higher status. So I feel like in any point of your life, there is a temptation to sell your soul, and it is an option if you choose to do that. She chose to give him man, head as a fiance. That's the problem. I think the issue, but I don't really think it's an issue. I feel like sex positivity is a real thing. So if you choose to display your body on a social platform, that's your choice. Do I personally want to see throw up on a man's penis? No. Do I want to see any man's penis? No. So it's like, it's her choice. Let her do what she wants to do.
Who's there?
Yeah. So I'm sorry, my uncle came, so I had to like mute and everything real quick. Because they needed help with something, but I'm gonna help you out later. Anyway, let's get back to the thing. For one, you said it was on OnlyFans.
She was trying to make an OnlyFans video. It was an OnlyFans.
It was on OnlyFans. So the thing is, somebody released it, right?
I believe they did.
Right. So if they release it themselves, then why are you crying about it? Because you chose to do that. I think it's a stunt. I mean, you didn't have to release it, right? Oh, it was embarrassing. Mm-hmm. Hey, guess what? Don't release it. Nobody has to know, right? But you released it. Now people know. You did it on purpose. I think it was a stunt, right? For one. Then you could act however you want to act afterwards. That's on you. Another thing, I don't want to call it selling your soul, because I don't think the devil's coming to collect. You're selling out. I'll say that. You can sell out.
On his playground, honey. He can regardless.
Because my thing is, the reason I don't want to say selling your soul is because at the end of the day, you can still be religious. You can still, love God and whatnot at the end of it all. So, it doesn't mean that just because you made a deal or whatever, you 100% go to hell because you sold your soul. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think those two could possibly translate in one another. I mean, you probably wanted money. You probably wanted better for your family, whatever the case may be, right? You want to be rich. That being said, I feel like when it comes to sex work, I don't tell people to like, oh, that sucks, don't do it. You want to make your money, you want to have a roof over your head. Who am I to tell you otherwise? All I could say is, in this case with her, I feel like it was more of a publicity thing. Maybe, I mean, we're talking about it. Look at this, right? We are over here talking about it, and she's getting the publicity she probably wanted, and that's it. And I've known people that's done that. If that happened to me, it's a wrap. We gotta close it up. Try this another day. I'm taking a little break. You know what I mean? But
are you switching over to another thing?
No, I'm talking.
Actually, yeah, I'm using my phone to listen and then responding here because it gets a little glitchy and I miss certain things.
Right. Yeah, it made it seem.
So I it's one of those things, but I feel like it's more of a publicity thing. I mean, whatever happened, but you did release it at the end of it, and you were behind the releasing of it. It's not like it got leaked or anything. So you knew what you were doing.
Right. I just feel like, I just kind of feel like, if you're going to do it. I mean, fine, I guess, if that's, the route that you want to go. But I just don't like when people contradict themselves, and it's just like, don't try to like be a hypocrite or contradict, like, because I noticed that Lita did say, like, you were saying like, oh yeah, well, I would never do something like that, and now all of a sudden you're doing something like that. So it's just, just stick true to your gun. But
how long ago was that?
What
that she said that I don't want to do it?
I believe she said a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is people are allowed to change their mind. You're allowed to do that. I feel like contradiction and hypocrisy is like one of those things where you got to use it on very specific things. When it comes to this, you're allowed to change your mind. It's life. That's how it works. People change their minds all the time. Today, I want to drink orange juice, but guess what? Midway, while I was pouring the orange juice, I'm like, nah, I want mango juice. I changed my mind.
I mean, in the fact of the matter, saying like I would never do something versus I'm gonna do it. Like,
yeah, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean. I don't mean today I want orange juice that I'm drinking.
I get it. I definitely get what you're saying. My only point is that even with those, right? Even if I go, I would never do something, and a year goes by and I'm a different person from where I was a year ago. Maybe my mind's different. Maybe I want to do that thing now. There were certain things that I didn't give two shits about 5 years ago, but I care about now. You know what I'm saying?
That's why Justin Bieber said, never say never. So we're going to move on because this is going to be a little short, just intro talk. we're gonna get into the topics now.
Mm.
So, Ozzy, you had this topic for long distance relationships, and you were asking the question like, is it basically worth it? Does it work out? Is it something that people should do? What's going on, Ozzy? So, go ahead, you introduce.
All right. Well, first we got to put this in perspective, right? So long distance, like statewide. I'm not saying like a 40-minute train ride. I think you could make that work.
Like the
You could
Bronx,
drive,
Brooklyn.
yeah, Bronx, Brooklyn, or slightly bit upstate. If you have a car, you could probably drive and make it work. I'm talking like somewhere deep where it's hard to get to one another, right? Different country or from a different other side of the country, some shit like that, right? I definitely feel like it depends on the circumstance, right? How long you've been together? If it's just starting, it's probably not worth trying to make it work because you don't know what's gonna happen. Now you guys are holding both your lives, and 90% of the time, statistically speaking, it doesn't work, right? Long distance relationship doesn't work. Not that it can't work. People have made it work, but most of the time it doesn't because guess what? I feel like every relationship needs that intimacy thing, right? The physical touch or whatever it is, and that being in front of a person is a lot better than texting and being on a phone call, right? And I think everybody needs that, right? That being said, if it is it a temporary situation? If it is, then you can stick it out a little longer. You'll be like, yo, I can make it work. It sucks, but as long as it's temporary. But if it's a permanent thing where everybody's living on other sides of the world, then I feel like it's not worth it trying it because what are you gonna do? Just visit each other once a month? Or that's even like if somebody's on the other side of the world, even visiting once a month is gonna cost you a crap ton of money. So how are you gonna make it work? How? There's like no, like I know somebody that's engaged with someone who lives in England, and they're very happy and they travel and one another, but it's a temporary thing, right? They're trying to be together at one point. That's why it's working. It's not like, yo, I don't wanna, we're gonna live on the other side of the world forever. That's not gonna work.
30 more seconds.
That's it.
Okay. Imani, what is your thoughts?
My thought is simply as this. Sorry if you hear the feedback. My thought on this is I feel like I agree with Ozzy. I don't think it's worth it. I feel like it's always going to be that wondering of what the other person is doing. Who are they seeing? Who are they talking to? People often say they're not insecure at themselves, but if someone's not that close to you, you start to wonder, you're not answering my phone call. You're really far away. Who are you with? Oh, you have this new friend, but I didn't know about this new friend. So what's going on? I feel like the same issues that you would have now with a current relationship with a partner is close to you, it will be worse if the person is far away. And then you can't even see them. Like imagine me being mad at you. I can't even come and press you in person. Then you gotta answer my phone call. I can't pick up for you. No. So no, it's not worth it. It's a waste of time. And then yes, the cost wise, I think that it is idiotic to spend so much money to see one person that you barely even know. It doesn't, because you have to then know them from afar, hope that their actions actually are what their actions say that it is over the phone in person. And then if it's not in person, what you're gonna do? All that money could have went to a new apartment, could have went to a new crib, could have went to a new car. Like you pay some of the bills with that money. It's just a waste of time. Don't do it. It's so stupid.
Okay, so then let me ask y'all a question then. So what if like y'all know each other, right? Like y'all been together, I'm gonna say like 5 years, and then all of a sudden, due to career purposes, one of y'all gotta move, let's say from New York to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It could work.
It could work?
It could work. I'll tell you what. I used to work for a construction company, and the woman next to me, she was in charge of all their finances. And she lived in New York, and her husband had lived upstate, or had lived in Albany. Albany's upstate, right? In Albany, yes. Oh my God, crazy question. So she would take the Amtrak every day to go see him sometimes, and he would take it to come see her. So, but money-wise, it made sense for her to stay here. It was a large construction company I had worked for. It paid all their bills. And when he worked at upstate, paid all his bills. So it can work.
But see, like because I could still say that New York State and New York City, they're still in the same like land area mass.
Well, it depends, because sometimes New York State could be very like 2 hours away, 3 hours away, and you better hope there's no traffic with that 2 and 3 hours. It really depends on how far you out.
Yeah, but 2-3 hours, I'm talking like you got to take a flight, you know? 2-3 hours, I think I can make it work. Because guess what? I just got to drive for 2 hours, right? Whatever. I'll rest a little, whatever the case may be. But then I'll get there, you know? I feel like your question, Jawan, I think it's circumstantial, right? Is it a temporary situation? If it's temporary, yeah, it could work. Because at one point, somebody's going to have to move to the other person, right? Whether it be the guy who got, or the girl who got the job somewhere else, either has to move back, or the person who stayed back has to move to them, right? And if there is that glimmer of hope, then it could work. But if it's a permanent thing where I'm in New York and my girl's in Cali, and it's just like that, and we're not doing anything about it, then I mean, sure, I could visit you in Cali, but how often can I visit you before my bank breaks? You know, like, I mean, you can make good money. I mean, unless I'm making bank, you know. But then again, you know, it's exhausting taking a flight, getting there. Probably the first day you just want to rest. You know, you tired from a flight. How long can you be there? You both got jobs. You got to go back to work. You know, it's a very tricky situation. But as long as it's temporary, I feel like it could work,
I
right?
think it also comes down to career choice because some people have careers in entertainment where you know it's expected, okay, I'm going to be traveling often, and I think it should make sense to me. You find someone else who could be entertainment like that or who
Mm-hmm.
understands the tediousness of traveling for your
Yeah.
job.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that you may not want kids. You may need to find a partner who's not gonna settle down with kids because they don't want to be a single parent. I also think people who are in the army, look at them, especially
Mm-hmm.
army wives and army husbands and their partners gone for a long time. So I think I agree, but I also think it goes down to preference. It goes down to the career choice and the finances as well. Because if you don't have the finances to constantly see your partner, or they just come see you, yeah, I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I agree with you, Amani, is that like I had somebody literally tell me like they will be willing to drive from Delaware all the way up to New York, you know, every weekend or whenever they come, whatever the case may be. I'm like, listen, one, that's not gonna work because you're gonna get tired of driving back and forth. And then on top of that, I don't want to go to Delaware. So it's just already not gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. And I think it depends on the mindset, you know, the financial, stability, communication, like a motherfucker. And if people
We
don't know
gotta
how to
talk.
communicate already, then that's just not gonna work out. I feel like if you do have some years in the relationship, like we've been together for years, 5 years, and then your job is there, you know, in LA, we're gonna obviously want to be together. Like the whole purpose of us being together is to be together. You know what I'm saying? Like we eventually want to move in a house, get married, have kids, and do all these different things. So I think it really just depends on also how much you want this individual. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people that be like, all right, I'm dropping everything. I want to be with you. And then you got some people that's listen, I'm not moving, I'm not budgeting, I'm not moving, I'm not budgeting. So
Mhm.
I definitely do think it also comes down to the person. So I agree with the both of y'all. Yes. Oh wait.
Yes, yes.
Lita also has some words to say, so we gonna hear her.
Bet.
Okay, long distance relationships. Does it work and is it worth it? So I think anything could work if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? A relationship includes, more than one person. So I feel like if everybody is on the same page, what they want, and they have a clear vision, a clear view, and you on the same wavelength for somebody, anything could happen that you want it to happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like the broad spectrum of it. Now, if you ask my personal opinion and what I think and how I would be able to handle it, no, I do not think it would work for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I've heard stories. I've heard both stories. I've heard stories of good turnouts, and then I've heard stories of, bad turnouts. But for me personally, it just wouldn't work because I'm somebody that, while I do enjoy and love to have my own space, I also need to see you. Like, I need to see you at some point. I need to see your face. I need to kiss you, hug you, feel you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need that physical touch. Like, everybody has a different love language. And I'm going to need that at some point. Now, you know, like I said, I have to stress that I am somebody who's big on space. So it's mighty funny, like, to hear me say, like, I don't think long distance could work because I am somebody who enjoys personal space very much. I just, I need to at least be able to reach out and touch you. And if I can't, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Because I'm going to end up reaching out and touching somebody else. Because you're not here. It's long distance. I could probably last the longest fucking 6 months tops. And then that's it. Like, all right, then. It's nice.
Bye.
It's been a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to need that. Like,
I'll say one thing. I hope she don't just go out and touch somebody else before breaking up with someone else. But the other guy, don't be cheating on him. Don't be cheating on him now because he's far away.
Just
because he's far away. Yeah.
That's why with the military people, it'd be very scary, especially, and they be wanting to marry you so quick, like a week into knowing you, they'd be like, let's get married.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that works. I don't know what's going on. I can't relate to it, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've heard stories, but we're gonna move right along to the next topic. So this next topic this was an interesting one that actually Khalida brought up. So I'm gonna try to explain it the best way that I can, that she was explaining it to me. Basically is that should women be submissive in order to be spoiled by their spouse? So what she was getting at is that, there was this whole thing that was going on in her group chat on Facebook where if you spoil a woman, she would have to be submissive, and that if she's not submissive, then she does not deserve to get spoiled. So
a bunch of women said that in her group chat, or it
was a bunch of men that said that about women in her group chat. She got
it was men who said it in her group chat.
Well, I mean, look at who's coming from. Okay. Of course, men would say, like, I disagree with that, like 100%.
So it's a bunch of men. Okay.
I mean, clear. Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? Anyway, you go first, Imani, and then I'll go.
Go ahead, Imani, because you.
No, I said in a conversation.
With it.
You're like, all right, I made my point.
Okay.
I disagree with that 100% because, first of all, I don't think spoiling has anything to do with how the other person is, like, if they're submissive or not. That's on the other person, right? If they want to be submissive, that's on them. I think spoiling just has to do with how you want to treat your girl or how you want to treat your man. It's just a matter of appreciation, right? You appreciate them, and everybody has what's her name said? I can't come up with the name. I'm going blank right now. It's about a love language, right? And it could be a love language, right? So, like, spoiling someone, that's your way of showing love and affection to somebody. And that's it, right? In my opinion, if you want to spoil someone, go spoil someone. I don't think you need a reason to spoil someone. You shouldn't have a reason to. You haven't given me a reason. You haven't been submissive enough lately. Give me your iPhone. It's mine now. Going backwards. No, it's just a matter of how you want to treat them. That's all it is. I don't think you should be looking for something in return. That's where things go sideways. I don't think it's sometimes, you just give. That's it. That's all it is.
So then I want to ask this question, because this is how it can get confusing and turn into that, is that there are people, men and women, that feel like that put the responsibility on their partner, that they should, like, this is your responsibility to buy me or spoil me or things like that. And when they say, like, okay, should women be submissive in order to be spoiled, would it be like if the woman is expecting her man to spoil her, and that in his eyes she would have to play a certain role?
First of all, they need to describe, not to go from your question, but they need to describe what submissive is.
Mm-hmm.
Submissive is different to every person. I'll give you an example. Jenny Mine just said literally in the reel the other day that she said she's submissive to Young Jeezy, to him, because she's so dominant in her career. So she was her own lawyer, she was her own agent at one time, and this is a rich woman with on an Emmy-winning talk show host, okay? But she said she's dominant in her life, that in her relationship she didn't want to be that way. She wants to be submissive. She said it doesn't mean that he says whatever he says goes. It just means that she tells him her feelings, and then he takes into account her feelings, his feelings, okay, I'll make a decision for us, and then we'll go from there. So that's their submission. Submission could be for sex. It could be for so many things. So
yeah.
I think before I even hear what these men got to say and they really answer your question, I have to know, for me, what is submissive to your relationship, and then we could go from there.
Right. And that's a real point because everybody does have a different definition of like submission. Like
Mhm.
when she brought the topic to me, I literally thought of the woman doesn't have a say so. Like she's supposed to play the old school role of what a woman
Like a housewife type shit.
housewife type of thing. That's what I was getting from it. So I was like, I mean, and this is a new day and age. That
Look,
actually doesn't work.
that's the thing, right? If she could play that role, if she wants to play that
Right.
role, you know, it's not because you want her to play that role. That is off, right? And the vice versa, like you said, with the whole spoiling part, right? Somebody shouldn't, like I said, you shouldn't be expecting a spoiling out of a relationship. You shouldn't. I mean, sure, it's good to be spoiled, right? And I'm sure you will get spoiled at one point. That's how relationships, like every relationship, there is a moment where somebody gets spoiled, right? Hopefully, but my thing is, it's the expectation that ruins everything, right? I think you got to go in with realistic expectations. You can't expect somebody to be submissive and change their way of life because you want it to, and vice versa, right? Because you want it, because that's not you telling them how to live their life. You got to realize that it's two people coming together, not two people controlling each other. You know, there needs to be that thing where people need to figure out, yo, I'm not here to control you and tell you what to do, and you're not here to tell me what to do. We're just here to be together and be just build something together, you know? Sure, there's compromises, right? I'm not saying there's no compromises. There's always going to be some kind of compromise, but that's what makes relationship work. You know, you got to meet in the middle. You don't meet all the way left, all the way right. That's what I think.
I think it's so dumb for men to think that women just want to be spoiled all the time.
Yeah.
Or anyone. I feel like it's this thing called five love languages. And I know my top one was quality time, and then the one underneath it was like gifts and stuff like that. And I think the one after that was words of affirmation. I think for me, not really for me, but for people, you have to know, okay, what does spoiling mean to that person? Because it's not always just gifts and physical things.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be time. It could be talking to me when I'm at my lowest points and bringing me up. Like everybody has their own fucking love language.
Mm-hmm.
So for people just to think that, okay, if I give her bags and shoes and money, that's what she wants. No, you need to ask, what does spoiling mean to you? Like spoiling for me means that when my girlfriends are coming home from work at the hospital, I didn't have her home for 2 days straight. That's spoiling to me. I'm like, let's plan this, let's plan that. I want to do everything. I want to get it all done. That's spoiling to me. It's quality time.
Yes.
And then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start. Can I get a bag? No, if you get some food, really, it's not really a bag. Let me raise that. I'm a food girl. I can buy my own fucking bag. I like it if I'm food and pay for it all the time. That's my explanation of spoiling. It's food.
Yeah.
Really, food.
Yeah, everybody got a different love language. That's what it is, you know?
See,
people are affectionate. People, I'm sorry, go for it.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off, because like you said something that like I've been saying, it's not materialistic. A lot of these people think that spoiling, oh yeah, I gotta get you these materialistic things. It's not about the money or the bags or the cars or whatever it is. It's not about any of that. It shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't even be really, being related. Like I wouldn't want, I mean, yeah, for Christmas and my birthday, sure. But I wouldn't want somebody to just only give me materialistic things. I would want spoiled in the time that we have. Like, okay, like you remembered what I said and you went out and you just did it without me. You heard me say, hey, I want to get this loan paid off. I want to get this loan paid off. I want to get this loan paid off. You did it. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, I'm like, damn, you just spoiled me just now. Like you just did something that I didn't even ask you to do. I was just talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these individuals go straight to let me buy her a bag, or let me get him a Benz. What do you
Benz, get the nails done.
Right, get the
nails done.
What? So it shouldn't be about playing a role. There shouldn't be a role to play for you to, if you love the person, why
I think people need to just really figure out who they're with, and like vice versa, both sides, and just figure out how to make things work. I feel like we live in a freaking, like everybody lives in like a fairy tale in their mind. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a movie. Everybody, like somebody goes, oh, I love them, so it'll work. No, just because you love somebody doesn't mean it will work. There could be issues involved, and there some issues you can't fix. You just can't fix. And that's just what it is. You could love them. You could love them to death. They could love you back. Let's just, for example, right? Somebody cheats on you, right? But you still love them and they still love you, but they still cheated on you. There's still that big trust that's broken. You can love each other, but now there's no trust. And if that trust isn't going to come back, then that relationship is pretty much doomed. Now things are going to get toxic, you know? Things are going to get toxic. Things are going to start breaking apart. And I'm just like, at this point, since it's not working and you're trying to cling on to it because you think it's love, then I'm like, I think you're living in a fairy tale world. It's not. It's the movies in love work. In the movie, love works. Oh, they love each other. They come together at the end.
Right now,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
but it's not a movie.
it's not. And Judge Liv, if y'all ever watch Divorce Court, because I'm a big Divorce Court junkie. So Judge Faith, she literally says this all the time. This phrase, "Love is not enough." There was literally countless couples. I was like, but I love them. Love is not enough. She screams that to the top of her lungs, and I get her because it's not. I could love you and then not like you. I can love you, but I'll be like, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you can love you like even if you like them, love them, whatever. If it's not fucking working, it's not working. You can't change the fact that it doesn't work. If you're not compatible, you're not compatible. That's it.
Hey, and get used to it. Get used to it, people. But we gonna move right along. We're gonna move right along to this next topic. So this is a topic that I thought about because I just kind of want to dissect and have a see what everybody else's understanding is. It would have been amazing to have a trans on the show to speak the piece, but I don't know anybody who's trans, so I couldn't do it. But the topic here is and I excuse me if this is not worded correctly, but it's called "Are Trans Women Considered Cisgendered Women?" And so why I thought about this specific topic is because I was watching a show and there was a trans woman on there and she got into a physical altercation with a man. And the whole cast was basically stating, like, you hit a woman, that's a woman, you hit a woman, like we don't agree with putting hands on women. Then, people in the comments was basically, they're saying, oh yeah, well, she was born a man biologically, this, that, and third one. But what somebody said made a great point, which was if a trans woman and a cisgendered woman got into a fight, would that make it okay?
Actually, that's happened too in UFC. There was a trans woman who fought other women and she beat the shit out of everybody. That happened. I mean, she could just be a better fighter, right? But that's what happened. And there was a whole thing about some people are like, oh, but that's a man. This. And it's a very complicated topic because, okay, gender is what? Gender is what you believe it to be, right? What you believe you are from within. And sex is what's more scientific. So when you look at certain body parts, you go that's the sex is male or female, right? But that's what sex is. That's where the science comes in. But then if you want to identify yourself as a specific gender, that's what you feel from inside. I found that out very recently, and I was doing more research on it, and it makes sense because I feel like I'm a man, and sex wise I'm a guy. So that makes me what? That makes me a cisgender. I don't know how that works.
So I think you would be considered a cisgender man. I don't know too many about this
because it says cisgender is a term for people whose gender identity matches their sex assigned at birth.
Right.
So gender identity matches their sex assigned. So sex you get assigned when you're born,
right,
male or female, right? Then, because even on your ID, it won't say gender male or female. It will say sex male or female.
Right.
And then what gender is what you like to identify as, right? So that's what you feel inside. So cisgender is when both of those things line up. So if I'm sex male at birth and I identify myself as a male, then I guess I'm a cisgender, right?
Right.
So, in that case, I guess trans women are not technically cisgender, right? Because their sex was identified as a male, and they identify themselves as female.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, they're not cisgender. However, their gender is female, but they were identified at birth as male,
right,
or vice versa.
So then, would it be fair for? Because then it becomes complicated because then it's like, okay, so you're saying for cisgendered women or cisgendered men, and when you have trans women that compete or trans men that compete in these kind of like athletics, with the cisgendered person, would that make it fair? I mean, because we do know that, trans men, trans women, they were born men, and then now they identify as women. Yes, and then we know from scientific facts that men are stronger
Yeah,
than
yeah,
women.
yeah.
Would that make it fair though?
So I don't know if the strength of a person changes because during the process of gender change, right? Because I'm so when we're talking transgender, right? We're talking people that went through the science to change their gender, right? We're not saying that how would I mean, obviously, gender, you claim yourself as a woman, but you also went through the process of going through the medical, hormone changes and whatnot. So I don't know if the hormone changes a person's strength, but it does, hormone. So this is what it says, right? It's called reassignment therapy, which may include hormone replacement therapy and sex reassignment surgery, with their gender identity being opposite of the birth. So they do actually like go through this whole thing to become a woman, right? And I think they could even have kids, I believe, right? So I don't, and I think when it comes to that, I should do a little bit more research on whether or not their strength changes, because
Definitely had a
it's
lot.
a very, very, very tricky subject, right? Because now transgender, if let's just say their strength doesn't change, right? Now transgender women or men are stuck in this spot in the middle. There's nowhere for them to go, right? They can't go to the male. Let's just say you want to be a professional fighter, right? But you're a woman, so you want to fight other women, right? And you like that happened with UFC, and she beat the shit out of everyone. And then people were like, no, that's a man. Even the person who like Dana White or whatever was like, nah, that's a man. They should be fighting men or whatever. And it's a tricky thing, right? Because now you can't be a part of this collective, like this women fighter, because you're being identified as a man, even though you feel like you're a woman inside, right? So it's a very tricky spot, and it sucks because it's like, where's the middle ground for that, right? Like for them, like I cannot relate to that because I'm not transgender, so I can't relate to what they're feeling or whatever. And it kind of sucks because it would suck feeling like you're in the middle and you don't belong to either side of the gender. You know, I think I think there's more debate to be to be done about what exactly goes down, but I think people are still a little bit closed-minded to the fact that now that's a man, that's a woman. People still don't like we're still in the time where people don't understand gender and sex fully, and then they try to argue. I didn't know too much about it until very recently either. So I feel like it's people need to there needs to be more debates happening. People need to be more educated, so then a decision can be made.
Amani, I know that you did miss a little bit of the convo. So, um, the question was more so, what is it fair? Because Ozzy did bring up the whole. You said, what is it called? The wrestling. The
UFC fighting.
So it's the UFC fighting where there was a trans woman who was fighting with cisgendered women. And clearly, the trans woman won. So, do you think that it's fair in the sense?
It's fair for transgender women to fight cisgender women. Um, so I think that is um, uh, a very complex question to answer. So I'm going to try to break it down in as many ways as possible.
Mm-hmm.
My immediate answer will be no. I don't think it's right, only because of the transgender woman or the woman or transgender experience that has women are saying it. You know what it's like to be a cisgender male. You know the strength. You know what that is. Um, and here comes the complex part, because then you have this thing. Well, what is a cisgender male? Because some cisgender males are very flamboyant. They don't really have muscle mass. They're very expressive with their ways, and there is no physical strength behind them. So then you have different types. You have those that are not physically capable of certain things, and those that are. And then when you man, there's so many ways to answer this question. I think it depends on the person. I think it depends on the person. I think it depends on their strength. When they were physically a man. I feel like if you never, I feel like if you always acquire that strength, I personally don't want to see you, whether you fully transitioned or not, fighting another cisgender woman, because at that point, it's almost unfair. It's very unfair. That's like it's almost as equivalent to me saying that it's okay for a man to hit a masculine presented female because she looks tough. It's still a woman. So let's not let the clothes define us. Um, but I've also have seen, and I actually covered this in one of my productions where women who abuse men, because sometimes women do have that strong physical capability to beat a man's ass. So then when you put her and then you put a transgender woman now who had that experience of being a physical man, not mentally a physical man, it's like, do we make them equal because their strengths are there? So it's very complex to me. I don't feel like I feel like it's my place as a cisgender woman to say I don't want to see it. That's just what it is to me. I don't think you should. I don't care what genitalia you have. I don't care how much makeup you put on. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. I wouldn't tell a drag queen who's dressed up in full drag to now be fighting a woman she sees in the street because you guys look the same. No, I just don't think it's right. I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of it. And the one thing I will say, this makes me kind of harsh, that even though you are a transgender woman, you do have to understand that naturally in your body, whether you have physically identified it with it or you have physically gotten to that point yet or not, you have a different kind of strength. Always, our bodies are physically built different. Yes, there's someone who carry more testosterone. Yes, there's some women who are very, very strong naturally. Yes, there's women like that. My girlfriend calls me, damn, what do you call me, Thora? She calls me Thora, like because I'm so strong, and so I could say I have fought men in the club. I have. That's my past days. The strength that I have. But I'm not gonna be up and be looking to fight another. You know who I could? Yes, am I gonna look to fight another transgender woman because she looks like me all of a sudden? No, because deep down I know that you possess this inner strength, no matter what, of your what your physical body was at birth. It just takes someone to tap into it. I don't know. It's very different for me. I'm just not. But then I also would say this to be full rounded. When you have that level of estrogen in you, it does bring down some of those testosterone levels. It does, and if you're not feeding into that, not feeding, if you're not giving yourself that strength and that energy back because you want the divine woman, is just perfectly fine. It's almost like, well, do you
So
consider it a fair fight because they have the same levels you have?
So I was just doing some more research right now, and it says that puberty has a lot to do with it. So if the gender change happens after puberty, your muscles, because of the testosterone, are built more defined and like more like a male than female. So there's more muscle mass, there's more muscle distribution, all that, and that's what gives. And like I was just doing more research. It said in rugby, women, no, cisgender women got injured more when they got tackled by a transgender female as opposed to other cisgender female, right? But this is all after puberty, right? So apparently they're saying if it's after puberty, then you will have those testosterone, because of the testosterone, your muscles were spread out differently, and you are physically a bit more stronger than other women. That's what it said when I was reading.
After puberty?
After puberty, because like that's where the testosterone starts to kick. So if I'm like a male wants to become go through transgender and become a female, but they wait till after puberty, the testosterone starts to kick in and whatnot, and that's what makes your muscles get like bigger
So
mass
it's
and whatnot.
countereffective.
Yeah. So like that testosterone, I guess, kicks in at higher rates after puberty, right? But who, if you think about it, who's gonna make a decision to change their gender before
You
puberty,
can't even
right?
get surgery until you're 18.
Yeah. So you're definitely always gonna hit puberty. And that's why
Are
it's
you
still
talking about the
saying,
physical teen? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the puberty with the transgender experience. Okay, it's two different puberties.
yeah, yeah.
So the
I'm
puberty
talking
that
like actual
everybody hits,
puberty, like
Okay.
age wise, right? And then the issue, I guess, comes down to is that even within the article, the debate is still going on. They're saying there's still like not enough data to figure out if it's really a big issue or not. But they're saying it's still an ongoing debate because some people go it's unfair advantage to the transgender female because of post puberty their muscles are more defined and whatnot, and they're just overall more stronger, things like that.
um I feel like, you know, I mean, just going off of just what you was saying, Imani, at first, which was, I don't want to see a trans woman fighting, fighting in general, but fighting a cisgendered woman, no. Um, I think playing in certain sports, I think that right now we just don't have the technology to um to make it fair. We just don't have the technology right now to make it fair.
Well, that's the science.
Right. Because we want, you want to be a woman and we want you to be a full woman, you know what I'm saying? But if you're going to be injuring and, hurting, the cisgendered women players, then, I mean, that is unfair. I mean, it's unfair, Um, I get it. I have the understanding. It's just right now, I just don't think that we just have it all together just yet.
Do any of you remember that the woman that I don't want to say she died because Lord have mercy. I think she's still alive. But this was when it was during the protest with George Floyd, and there was a article actually Megan Thee Stallion posted her on her page where this transgender woman was fighting. No, she got beat up by a bunch of men, and they beat her up really fucking bad. Um, and as I was reading the comments and other articles and things that was going on for people that was actually there, um, from the head up, I don't want to say she looks like a female, but she looks like what a stereotypical female would look. Soft features, pretty face, like stereotypical, right? The weave. But then when other people posted up from the whole body, flat chest, it's, it is a transgender woman with a physically cisgender man body,
Right.
right? So, and I'm just like, you're and I don't want to say the article, I don't want to say her story wrong, but she was outside and she was fighting other women, which is why the men beat her up. I'm not excusing that behavior at all. Let's just start right there. But in relation to this conversation that we have, I just thought about it, and I'm just like, well, that's a perfect example right there. So here is someone who is not to my knowledge, not on estrogen. She's not transitioning right now. The body is still, a cisgender man's body physically, and you're fighting other cisgender women. I don't think that's right. Any man, cause then you know what I could say. Listen, I could say any man could throw on a wig and bust it down with somebody, and we're gonna excuse that behavior. So all a man has to do, whether it's believable or not, all a man has to do is put on a wig and say I'm transgender and be someone like. But all that, we will have so many domestic violence case issues. We have so many women battered. We will have so many more issues. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like transgender women have to understand that there are levels to what you can and cannot do to cisgender women. There's some lines you do not cross, and somebody in their circle should tell them like, yo, sis, what you're doing is not okay. It's just not.
I also think,
Especially if you don't have any estrogen in your body. You can't even like level up almost. In my opinion, it's not a fair fight.
right. I think what makes people like nervous to sit over here and really have conversations like this is the sensitivity level. which is why I said, like, I wish that I did have a trans woman on here on the show, and a trans man too, but I don't know any. It's
You know what? I know one, and let me inbox her now and see if she's available. I don't know. We're not close, but
we have a
I'll
special guest
see.
popping
I'll
up.
give it a
Like,
shot. Huh?
I said we got a special guest popping up.
I'll give it a shot and see what happens.
But yeah, it's I think it's a sensitivity level. It's like we want to have conversation like this so that way we could understand and have this, this understanding of like, all right, where does it come from? How do you feel? How does it operate? And what can we do? Because we want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What time are you ending this now?
So we usually end pretty much, usually around this time, but.
Okay, well then, so when you have this conversation again, let me know.
Yeah, so what it's going to happen is that we definitely will be readdressing this conversation again in a future date. Right now, we were just kind of dissecting it because I just wanted to see if what other people thought, because
it's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard because it's like you're not trying to come off like you don't, of course you matter. Of course we want you to participate in sports and things like that, but we also have to do it in a safe manner.
Yeah.
And so before I end it, actually.
Wait, I'm sorry. And I feel like transgender people need to hear the voices of, okay, I feel like transgender women, because it's always this cattiness of the women. They don't really hear it with the men.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I do. Like I said it because I have transgender men friends. My best friend is a transgender man, so I can say that with knowing it. They don't really happen in their community, but the women happens all the time. I feel like they should sit down with other women that they are close to and just hear the conversation, because there's some conversation that your cisgender woman friends are gonna have about other transgender people that you're not gonna know about, and you need to take those opinions, take those feelings in, and then internalize that, spread it on to your transgender friends, and then have a conversation, because it's like telephone, just make sure it's the real telephones, correct? It's just passing by. You need to know how the other person feels, how they feel around you, because you want to be included in these spaces of other women who are cisgender, but then you have to know how to blend. You got to know how to fit in. You got to know how they feel. And then vice versa. I had to know, make sure that I don't say something that's going to offend them, make sure I don't do something that's going to offend them. We just have to be in communication, because we're all going to be women. At the end of the day, we have to be on the same fucking page.
Absolutely. I remember one of my friends, she said the same thing that you said. She was like, listen, like, I don't understand, like, I mean, I want to understand and I want to have a conversation, but it's more so like I'm just scared to have the conversation because I don't know how they're going to react. And then it's like, I don't want it to be a division or a problem, because if you are going to be a part of, what the way cisgender women got going on, then, I feel like you said, join up, talk. I don't think that there's anything wrong with talking and understanding one another. And then, like, you know what? This is not even where I'm trying to come from. You know what I'm saying? So definitely have those conversations. It's those conversations is needed. And the best type of respect is understanding. I'm going to always say that. And that's just what it's going to be. But for my yellow teeth brothers and sisters, I'm going to be doing a review. I'm going to be doing it from Smiley's. This is the people that do the teeth whitening stuff. So I'm definitely going to be doing a review for them. Yes, my teeth is yellow. I shine bright like the sun. Yes, when I smile, the sun comes out. So I'm going to be doing that. And I'm going to be pranking this weekend, because my little cousin's here and my mama and my father is home. So I'm definitely going to be pranking them, and it's going to be the honest, natural reactions, not none of them little fake YouTube pranks. So you already know who it is. It's Juwan 145, the Nigerian prince / king. And to the left of me, I have Alleged Uzer.
Allegedly, yup. So you don't know what my real name is, because you never will. And it's alleged, So I'm just gonna let you figure it out. You can call me Ozzy though, you know how it goes. Wash your hands, stay safe. There's a second wave coming, make sure you're safe, get that mask on, and just like, comment, subscribe. You know how it goes.
All right, and then underneath us, we have Miss Amani.
Imani, of course. Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, Imani Clubhouse. You can find me on Instagram at I Want Imani because you know you want me. And I want you too. And it's always love over here.
Yes, and we are the men.
Woo!